Okay, let's dive in. For, well, pretty much our whole lives, right? We've been right in the middle of this huge computing revolution.
Absolutely, just massive changes.
Yeah, think about the leaps in processing power, connectivity, mobile everything, and now, boom, AI everywhere.
It's relentless.
Personally, I've been kind of obsessed with this idea of mixing the real world and computers for maybe 25 years now.
Wow, that long.
Yeah, even back as a student. Early augmented reality was super clunky, let's be honest.
Oh, definitely. Big headsets, wires everywhere.
But you could just feel the potential there, something waiting to happen.
And what's really interesting, I think, is how those early efforts, trying to get computers to sort of see the world, they were happening alongside AI research, which was focused more on getting computers to reason.
Right, two separate streams almost.
Exactly. And if you look at the big picture, those two things, visual understanding, let's call it, and conceptual understanding, they're now really starting to merge. It's revolutionary.
Especially with these large language models, right? The ones that can handle all sorts of different info.
Precisely. That's the key catalyst here.
And it's just moved so incredibly fast. I mean, we went from staring into rectangles to strapping on these like 360-degree displays for VR. Immersive.
Totally immersive.
But now, the really mind-bending part is this idea that the world itself is becoming the display.
That's the leap.
We tend to lump all this immersive tech together, call it extended reality or XR.
XR covers AR, VR, mixed reality.
But until pretty recently, these different tech areas, AI and XR, they've kind of been doing their own thing, right? Evolving separately.
Largely, yes. Which leads to the big question.
Go on.
Well, what happens when you take the analytical horsepower of modern AI
Okay.
and you combine it with the ability to, say, overlay digital stuff onto our physical world like AR, or even transport us completely like VR?
Right. What does happen?
Well, we're starting to see the answer now. It's this really powerful convergence of AI and XR.
Convergence. That's the word.
And it's not just like a small step up.
Yeah.
It promises fundamentally new ways for us to interact with technology.
And crucially, how does it feel for the user? For you, listening?
That's the goal, in a way that feels natural, intuitive,
Yeah.
on your terms.
Yeah. Imagine computers that are way lighter, way more personal. They see what you see, basically. They get your real-world context, like right now.
In real time, yeah.
And you can just talk to them. Natural conversation.
That's the direction. That's the dream, really.
And lots of smart people, lots of companies are pushing this. We heard about Android XR.
We did. It's Google working with Samsung on a new operating system.
And their goal is pretty straightforward, isn't it?
Yeah. Augment human intelligence.
Augment intelligence, not replace augment.
That's a critical distinction. It's about enhancing, not substituting, AI as a cognitive tool.
And it's interesting that they're building this OS to be flexible, right?
Yeah.
For different devices.
Exactly. Headsets, glasses, maybe things we haven't even thought of yet.
That unified vision across hardware is pretty key, I think.
It suggests a long-term strategy for personal computing's future.
So, to give us a more concrete idea, a real peek into this future, we got to see a live demo.
Yeah, some early stuff, conceptual hardware, early software, all running on this Android XR.
We saw smart glasses and also a VRR headset. It really gave a sense of where this is all headed.
It did. A tangible glimpse.
Okay, let's dig into the smart glasses first. Now, these didn't look like some crazy sci-fi prop.
No, not at all.
Ah.
That was striking. They looked, well, pretty much like normal glasses.
Right, like regular eyeglasses you might wear every day.
And that subtlety in design, that's important, I think. But inside...
Ah, yes. Inside is where the magic happens.
Totally. You've got a tiny camera, microphones, so the AI can see and hear what's going on.
Okay.
Then you've got little speakers for audio feedback from the AI or music calls, whatever.
Right.
And maybe the coolest bit, a tiny, full-color, high-res display right there in the lens.
It's kind of wild to think about in the lens itself.
It really is.
Yeah.
And they're designed to be light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the heavy lifting, the processing...
It happens on your phone.
Exactly. It connects wirelessly to your phone. Keeps the glasses from feeling bulky.
And practical stuff, too. They mentioned prescription lenses.
Yep, you can get them fitted with your prescription. Makes them truly usable day to day.
And get this, the person doing the demo, Nishta, she was actually using them to see her speaker notes.
Huh. That's a clever use case. Very subtle.
Talk about a hidden advantage.
It really shows how these could just blend into your routine, giving you info without being obvious.
Okay, so that brings us to the actual demo. They were using Gemini, right? Google's AI.
That's right. Gemini integrated into the glasses.
The first step, they showed how Gemini could see what the wearer, Nishtha, was seeing, like in real time. They asked it to write a haiku about the room, about the audience.
Yeah, I remember that. Something about faces lit up, new ideas.
There are definitely some faces looking maybe anxious but also excited. A mix.
A common reaction to new tech like this. But it showed the AI interpreting the visual scene creatively.
It's more than just, I see a person, isn't it? It's understanding nuance.
Exactly. It hints at a future where the AI gets your visual world on a deeper level. Personalized, creative even, beyond just recognizing objects.
Okay, then they showed something called memory.
Ah, yes, the memory feature. This was really interesting.
So the idea is the AI just kind of keeps track of what you're seeing without you asking it to.
Pretty much. It maintains this ongoing contextual awareness using visual processing. It's a big step.
How so?
Because it allows for way more natural interaction. Think about the demo with the book.
Right, Atomic Habits. She just glanced at a bookshelf.
Just a glance, didn't say anything.
And then later she asked Gemini, hey, what was that white book?
And boom, Gemini remembers. Atomic Habits by James Clear.
That passive recall, that feels different, like augmented memory.
It is different. Instead of you actively searching or trying to remember, the information related to your environment is just potentially there, readily available, almost subconscious.
That's powerful.
Then they did the lost hotel key card thing. We've all been there.
Oh, yeah. Searching pockets frantically.
She asked Gemini, where did I last see my key card? And it knew.
To the right of the music record, it said.
Exactly. It recalled the spatial context. The practical value there is obvious.
It's not just facts, it's the situation, the context.
Right. And they kept mentioning Gemini's multimodal understanding.
Multimodal, meaning?
Meaning it's not just listening to your voice, it's also processing the visuals from the camera at the same time.
Ah,
Okay.
Voice plus vision.
Yes. Which gives it a much richer understanding of what you're asking, what's around you, and it remembers recent context, too.
Got it. So to show that off more, they used the Atomic Habits book again.
Right. She asked about a diagram in the book, a complex-looking one.
And Gemini didn't just say it's a chart.
No, it identified it specifically, the habit line, and then it explained what it meant.
About habit formation, automaticity increasing with repetition.
Exactly. Think about that for learning. Look at any chart, any graph, ask a question, get an instant explanation.
That would be incredible. Okay, then translation. This was super cool.
Yeah, the translation demos were strong.
First, a sign. Translated it into English. Private property, no trespassing. Okay, pretty standard.
Useful, but yeah, expected.
But then they asked the audience for a language. Someone shouted, Farsi.
And what I liked was they admitted a previous Farsi attempt hadn't quite worked.
Yeah.
Showed the real-time progress.
Right, adds credibility.
And this time, it nailed it. The presenter even confirmed the translation was perfect, and he spoke Farsi fluently.
That was a real wow moment, I think. Live, complex translation working.
Totally. And it wasn't just the AI speaking Farsi.
No. Nishtha spoke to Gemini in Hindi.
And Gemini replied in Hindi.
She even joked its accent was better than hers.
Huh. It really showed off that natural conversational interaction they're aiming for. Imagine language barriers just melting away.
Seriously. Okay, then bridging physical and digital. The record album.
Right. She looked at a record by Teddy Swims.
Gemini recognized the album cover.
Accessed the digital track list somehow, probably via the phone.
And started playing the requested song, Bad Dreams.
Just like that. Physical object triggers digital action. Seamless.
Super smooth. And finally, real-world help. Navigation.
Yeah, she asked for directions to a park nearby with ocean views.
Gemini instantly pulled up navigation to Lighthouse Park. Mentioned the magnificent views.
Showed a 3D map in the display.
And the best line was about not looking like a tourist glued to your phone screen.
That's a real pain point it solves. Looking down at your phone constantly breaks the experience of being somewhere.
Exactly. So these glasses demos, they really painted a picture, didn't they? Information and help, just there, subtly woven into your day.
A compelling picture, absolutely. But that was just one side of the coin. They also showed us the other end of the spectrum.
The headsets, more immersive.
Right. Specifically, the Project Muhan headset from Samsung, which they said is launching later this year.
So moving into VR, virtual reality, fully digital worlds, and AR, augmented reality, digital overlays on the real world, both under that XR umbrella.
Correct. And while headsets aren't new,
No, many people know VR headsets.
the key difference they highlighted is integrating that powerful AI within the immersive environment. That's where it gets really interesting.
And the big advantage of a headset over glasses is...
The display potential, mainly. It's essentially infinite. Imagine huge virtual monitors for work, a massive movie screen.
Or attending a conference virtually but feeling like you're there.
Exactly. Much more encompassing than the small display in glasses.
And how you control things is changing too, they said.
Yeah, they emphasized eye tracking, hand gestures, and voice, moving away from clicking controllers or typing.
More natural input. Just look, gesture, speak.
That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Makes navigating these virtual or augmented spaces feel much more intuitive for you.
Okay. And Gemini's in the headset too, like a companion.
Yep. Always there, conversational, ready to help.
They showed some examples.
They did.
Yeah.
First, Max, the presenter, asked Gemini to pull up his trip planner and organize it.
Just by asking.
Hands-free? Totally hands-free. Voice commands only. Shows AI as a proper digital assistant inside that environment.
Managing your stuff without fiddly interfaces. Nice.
Then, another audience suggestion, Cape Town.
Someone wanted to go to Cape Town, virtually.
Yeah, so Max just asked Gemini to take him there. The Maps app opened up inside the headset.
And he could just explore it in 3D.
Just like that. Instant virtual travel. Then he looked towards Table Mountain.
And asked about it.
Exactly. Asked Gemini, what's the significance of Table Mountain?
And Gemini knew what he was looking at.
Seemed to, yeah. It gave this really detailed answer, not just the natural beauty, but the historical, spiritual importance to the indigenous Coco and Sand people.
Wow, context-aware information delivery. Impressive.
Very. Then they switched to entertainment. Max wanted inspiration, asked for 360 winter sports videos.
And Gemini found some snowboarding stuff. Powder skiing.
Yep, cool powder snowboarding footage appeared. But then it got more specific.
How so?
He asked about a trick, an aerial move in the video.
And Gemini knew the trick.
Identified it. That looks like a backside 540 with a grab. Understanding rich video content in real time.
That's pretty sophisticated analysis.
It is. And then the location thing. Max asked, is this Whistler?
And Gemini said?
Nope, probably Mount Bachelor, Oregon. Based on visible landmarks in the video.
Okay, that's seriously impressive environmental recognition within a video.
Right. But then they did something. Well, fun.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
They got Gemini to narrate the snowboarding video, but in the style of an overly enthusiastic horror movie.
Wait, what? A horror movie narration for snowboarding? Whose idea was that?
Audience suggestion again.
Yeah.
And Gemini just ran with it.
Seriously? Oh, what did it say?
Oh, stuff like describing the snowboarder's chilling dance with the unknown, the icy terror. It read out the whole generated narration.
That sounds hilarious and completely unexpected.
It was definitely memorable. Showed the creative, playful side of having an AI companion. It's not just about tasks. It could be about personalized entertainment, too.
Okay, that's wild. Did they bring it back to something more practical?
They did. Gaming. They used Stardew Valley.
Ah, popular game. Farming sim.
Right. Max acted like a newbie, asked Gemini how to get started.
And Gemini helped, like a guide.
Exactly. Real-time instructions. Okay, first, use your hoe to till the soil. Plant these parsnip seeds. Now water them, like a conversational walkthrough.
So AI could help you learn new skills, new games, just by talking to it.
That's the potential, yeah. Lowering the barrier to entry for new things by providing help right when you need it.
Makes sense.
And then, to wrap up the headset part, Gemini itself gave a little summary.
The AI summarized its own demo.
Yeah, a quick, playful two-sentence recap of what they'd just shown.
Nice touch. So putting it all together, the glasses, the headset, the AI, it really feels like we're on the cusp of something big, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
A major shift in computing. These devices are just the start of this convergence between AI and XR.
Right.
And the vision seems clear. A future with lightweight XR devices, maybe even more wearable than glasses eventually.
Integrated into our lives.
Giving instant access to information, to experiences, all powered by AI that gets smarter, more context-aware.
And it's not just about getting info dumped on you, is it?
No, the emphasis is on the interaction. More conversational, more personalized AI that really works with you, understands your language, your situation.
Collaborating with us, naturally.
So if you step back, the bigger picture, it feels like we're moving beyond just, sticking digital things onto reality.
Yeah. To what?
To actually augmenting our intelligence, using these AI XR tools to enhance how we think, learn, remember.
Augmenting our intelligence. That's a really powerful thought. It reframes the whole thing.
It does.
So, As a final thought for everyone listening, something to chew on,
Hmm.
how might having an AI one that's constantly aware of your surroundings, aware of your digital life, how might that fundamentally change how you learn things, how you remember things, and even how you interact with the world and with other people?
That's the big question, isn't it? What does that future actually look like, feel like on a human level?
Something to definitely think about.